Katie and Simon have been married for 7 years, but for the last 3 years, Charlie has become very upset with Simon because when she wants to get freedom, she keeps falling into new circles. In such a situation, she started feeling lonely every day, and sometimes she even felt like shedding tears when alone. Actually, Katie has started living separately from her husband, Simon, for the last 5 years. After daily physical and mental torture, she had finally taken this decision when she had to live life afresh. But living this life was not so easy because every moment she had to face many problems on the way. One day, Kriti's dear friend Manali comes to her and wants to know her well being. But Kriti hides it from her and says to Manali, "Hey, leave me, tell me yours. I have heard that you have now started working in a sewing company." Manali had understood that Kriti was trying to avoid her words, and due to this, she secretly made Kriti sit near her. And she finally asked Kriti, "It seems that you have spent the night crying." Kriti silently gets up from there, but Manali was not going to leave her alone, and finally Kriti told her crying, "My husband Saman has sent a divorce notice. After all, we were living separately for 5 years. He blamed me for it." Manali wipes Kriti's tears and hugs Kriti and says, "Whatever happened is good. Now you can live comfortably. You were suffering from sorrow for so long, and now you have got relief." Meanwhile, Kriti's 5-year-old daughter comes there crying and says, "Mom, Ruhi is teasing me because my father does not live with me." Manali calls that little daughter near her and says, "Daughter, why are you worried? If father is not there, then mother is with you, and she even plays with you, whereas Ruhi's father does not play with her." The little daughter says, "Yes, auntie, you are absolutely right. I will go there and tell this to Ruhi." Katie says, "You can entertain a cute little daughter, but what about my mind?" Manali changed the topic and says, "Leave all this aside. First, tell me what food you have prepared." Manali was Kriti's childhood friend, and this was the reason why she was able to recognize her friend very well. Kriti has been very sad ever since her husband sent the divorce notice, but Manali had understood that the man was not worthy of Kriti. Why should Kriti shed tears for the one who had thrown his wife out of the house only after 9 months of marriage? Manali always took care of Kriti and her child and took her somewhere to make her feel better. One day, suddenly Kriti was sitting on a auto for some work. At the same time, Susma auntie called from behind and said, "Hey Kriti, I have heard that you are going to get divorced. Anyway, your husband has no respect in your eyes. That is why you have been sitting in your parents' house for so many years, and now your daughter is also growing up." Katie was not able to understand how to respond and was shedding tears again and again because these were the same people who had once given her the status of a daughter. But today, when she was surrounded by bad circumstances, all these people had left her. Whenever Manali asks her to go somewhere, she refuses. On this, Manali quietly went to her home as she did not want to disturb her friend. One day, when Manali was explaining something to her, Kriti suddenly gets angry and angrily asks her to keep quiet. In such a situation, Manali quietly left from there and then she did not call her for a week. Kriti felt bad about this later. She was still angry with Manali because she was not able to understand what Kriti was saying. Kriti was feeling it. Kriti is angry in her mind, Manali, whenever you see. She keeps explaining to me. I was just a little girl. Now I have grown up and am the mother of a child. Only I can take decisions in my life, and she always tells me to move ahead. But she doesn't know how much it hurts when people taunt me. Only I know what pace and what pain I am going through at this time. Such days were progressing, and now Manali had also decided that she would not trouble her dear friend too much because perhaps now Kriti had started getting worried because of Manali. One day, when Kriti goes to the market for some work and suddenly starts crossing the road, at the same time she sees a handicapped woman who is missing both her legs and one left hand is selling balloons and toys while sitting in a wheelchair. Many times people used to scold her, and sometimes she became happy after selling balloons and toys. Kriti feels good after seeing this, and she realizes that despite the fact that this woman does not have both legs and one hand, she is very happy. But if I look at myself, I am absolutely fine, yet I do not want to move forward. It is entirely my fault in this, because of which my little daughter will also get troubled. First of all, Kitty goes to her home and happily signs the divorce paper and comes to Manali and says to her, "If there is a job in your company, then definitely tell me, because I also want to do a job now so that I can give a happy life to my daughter." Manali is filled with surprise after hearing this from Kriti. In such a situation, Kriti says to her, "I don't know how many times you tried to make me understand, but I kept getting entangled in my past, and my past had caught hold me in such a way that I was not able to free myself from my clutches and was getting stuck in this. If that person has no respect for me, then why should I alone shed tears for him? How long would I cry for him? After all, he had no respect for my tears. My daughter is with me and her responsibility is mine. There is no place for that person in my life." Manali says, "I'm very happy with this thing of yours. After all, you will now achieve your happiness in your life, and we all want you to take yourself to a different place. Prepare yourself differently. Life is a war. Always fight for it. Only we can decide how we want to live our life. We all have struggle in life, but if we take decisions blindly, our life gets spoiled, and if we take decisions happily, then our life will definitely be successful." In such a situation, think of moving ahead. We are with you. Now, both the friends happily embrace each other, and Kriti had now understood the real importance of life. Manali was very happy with this. Very soon, Kriti also gets a job in sewing company, where she becomes self-reliant. Friends, in today's time, you should always keep yourself happy because no one knows what kind of time the future will bring for you. There are many problems in our life, but we should never give a second chance to those people who have never understood our sacrifice, dedication, and love. In such a situation, the best thing is to move forward by improving oneself and live a happy life. Many turns come and go in life. What can happen to someone when? Everyone is unaware of this. That is why it is said that the good deeds done in good times come back and come in handy again in bad times. Therefore, one should be open minded at all times in life. It is very important to have a feeling of empathy towards every other person. Then life can be lived in a different way. can be decorated in a different way.